The Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Toronto, Ontario. And this track, Take Me Home by Kwesi Selassie. We are not going back home to Africa right now because, you know what, folks? It wasn't pretty yesterday in Toronto. Yes, it wasn't pretty. I thought winter was over. I thought spring had sprung. But I was wrong. It was deadly snowy yesterday. But hey, I'm so glad that we are here today. We are in the land of the living. You know, we have to be thankful to God that we have been able to make it this far because when we woke up this morning, millions of people haven't been able to make it right now. You know, guesstimatedly, let's say you woke up at 6 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 3 p.m., depending on where you are. I think you've had it great listening to me. But nevertheless, we are here on Highway 6 to Africa. Today, we are going to have a very special guest. Yes, Big HOOKZ. He's here, as well as my cousin. Yes, Ron MOLLINGA. He's also in the house. Ron, how you doing?
Hey, just fine. Today is beautiful in British Columbia. Absolutely gorgeous where I'm at. We're looking at 15 degrees here today. And we haven't seen snow like some places have in Canada in ages and ages. So it is beautiful today. I'm doing great. Going out for a bike ride after we do this. And here is the lovely PETRAA. How are you doing, PETRAA?
I'm good. How are you? Hi, everyone. Hi, Big HOOKZ.
Hi, PETRAA. Well, folks,
hi, everyone.
It's been a very great week. But then today, we are going to have a conversation. As we normally do, we don't interview here. And we're so glad that, you know what, next week is a long weekend. So we are going to take our time to explore what we need to know about Big HOOKZ. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the house is Big HOOKZ. Hi, my brother. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. That was a good warm introduction.
That's how we do it. That's how you do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Love. Welcome to Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. This program, Highway 6 to Africa, we bring artists here and publishers and music directors and what have you, producers, so that we'll be able to sit back and sit down and have a chat about our industry. Because our industry is not the easiest. A lot of people think that our industry is that easy. You go into the studio, you record, you come out, hey, you become famous and everybody, you know, throws flowers up to you. But no, you've got to grow the seed for it to germinate and for it to grow. But you've been in the trenches. Normally, I would open up the question, but then, hey, PETRAA has beaten me to it. You know what, PETRAA, the floor is yours, please.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am. Sir. Sure. So I like to ask like a signature question. And I have to say, hi, Love Bay family. Didn't forget y'all.
Hello.
I wanted to ask you, so can you just share with the audience who Big HOOKZ is?
Oh, great. Big HOOKZ, that's my artist name. I was born and raised in Cameroon. That's where I grew up. Then moved to Germany at a young age. Went to school in Germany during my during the time doing education, going to school. I was also doing music. When I was born in Cameroon, growing up, you know, primary school, secondary school, I was going to church. My parents, they trained us to, you know, go to church. So within that period, I was very musically inclined and started dancing. And then when I moved to Germany, I just took it to the next level when I was still young. Then I started managing artists and I had a band also. And yeah, it just took off from there. Then after my education from Germany, still an artist, I was coming back to the state doing some shows. And I finally decided to move to the US. But I always travel back and forth to Africa and Europe and the US. So I'm moving most of the time, doing shows and different events.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us, Big Hucks. And I wanted to ask you another question as well. So, what was it about music and dancing, the entertainment industry, that made you want to get into it? Like, what was the connection?
I think before I just started, it was like a passion. When I started, I was so passionate to it, and I just love it to entertain people. And I would say I'm a people's people, so that way I feel like it was a gift or so. But I had to really, you like work on my craft, on my skills, and then to get to the level that I wanted to get. And I'm still working. That's why I'm here today talking to you guys. So I feel
Awesome.
to answer your question, like I just grew up, I was loving entertaining people, loving dancing, then find a way to work on my craft and my art, and yeah, creating music and also being a part of different artists' journey, managing as well.
Okay, awesome. And I love the fact that you're not just an artist, but you've taken it to so many different levels. You know what I mean?
Yes,
That's
yes, yes,
amazing.
yes. Oh yeah, I like to strive big. I like to set my goals really high. And the artists that I've worked with before also, which I was doing managing. Before I was just managing, then I decided to go back to be an artist because that's
Hmm.
what I was doing before. And
Exactly.
when I kind of invested in myself, I felt like it's something that I should focus on myself and do it. That way, I can set an example because experience is the best teacher. You can always show somebody what you experience, and you help them
Hmm.
doing their path and the journey as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to ask you one more question before I pass over to TYB, because you said something that really made me just want to really ask you about this. So you were an artist and then you became a manager and then back to being an artist again. Do you find that being an artist made you a better manager?
Oh yes, yes. Like I said, to answer your question, like I said, experience. Sometimes I want to try it first before I pass it to somebody else, like proof
Hmm.
of concept. Um, because in this industry, there's a lot of let me put it, a lot of dishonesty. You meet
Mm.
a lot of people that they say this and do this, they don't do that. Like so
Hmm.
sometimes when I work with artists, and it's hard, man, being an artist, and you're striving so big, then somebody just
Hmm.
make you turn your go down. For example, if you invested in a promotional aspect and you can't achieve that because of one or two reasons, it's very discouraging. So for me, I feel like I always want to try it first, and what I'm saying to an artist or what I'm about to do is
Hmm.
facts. I make sure it goes through 100%.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely. And I think we can relate on this show because TYB, Ron, and myself, we're all musicians, artists. So I think that makes us even better radio hosts and even better when it comes to asking questions because we've been on the other side versus the person that's never really been in the role of an artist. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right, absolutely.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, TYB.
Yeah, interesting. A very great start indeed. Can you share any lessons you've learned from dealing with the artists that you've been producing, and as a producer and an artist, I think just like you said, you stand a better way of knowing or selecting who is best for you and who is not in that kind of category or whatever you may be looking for. Um, have you gone through a situation where you said, I made a mistake by going with this person?
Um, yeah, yes, yes, yes. I've gone through, but they say if you don't make mistake, it means trying. You got to try many times to fail, and then you
Mhm.
know,
And
yeah.
how
With
how
the
did you
artists,
do it?
you're dealing with people, and the artists are very artists. Some artists are very emotional, so I would say, um, I've dealt with an artist where I felt after a while, where I was the one investing, and I felt like I didn't go the right path with the artist because I didn't really pay attention on their work ethic. For me, I pay close attention to the work ethic, and see that hunger, that if they're really hungry or really want to do this, because sometimes when you give when you give things to someone really like easily, they take it for granted, you know. So and
Mhm.
this industry, like an artist, you really want to accomplish that goals. You really need to show me that you want it. So I made a mistake one time. I was at an event, I was performing, and I took this artist because he was good. He came on and was performing as well, and then came to me and was asking me, he want to work with me? And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I worked with him, then started managing him at some point, and I felt like, it was a mistake because I was the one calling him all the time to go to the studio. I was the one
Mm.
always calling him, what's up? What are you doing? What is the next song? So at some point we had to we record a song, but we couldn't move forward because he doesn't have the hunger like I do.
Mhm.
From that perspective, which I've already invested some money in him, and yeah, I think that was one of the mistakes I made.
But now being as an artist, and I think you're able to handle it better than
Right.
somebody who doesn't have any sort of background with respect to that.
Yeah,
I'm
let me
also,
say sorry for interrupting you.
no, that's
Um
okay. Go ahead, please.
yeah, when I left Germany, I come to the US, I was just managing. But I was being in like the artists, I would do their hook lines. Because that's what I'm good at. My name
Mhm.
came from there being, big hooks. Hook is the hook line of a song, and a song hook is the main part of the song.
Yeah.
So I was being really, really involved in that process, creating the hook line. And when I came to the US, I took some label meetings for my artists. So being in that meeting, they're listening to songs. It's like, who's on the hook line? So I say, it's me. They're like, man, we like your voice, like your accent. So that's what made me to go back. And I had a big record in the US with, I don't know, shout out to Kevin Gates. So from that song, when I presented to them, they liked the record, and I was in the hook line. So they told me they want to work with me on that song. So that's how I fully came back again. So just to interrupt you, I'm sorry for that.
No. That's what we are having
So
a
let me
very
share that.
that's good. Yeah, and Ron is a songwriter, and I think before I go on to my next question, I will just get Ron, as usual. He has his bombshells, and prior to the program, he showed us a lot of questions that he's compiled.
I know. He told me at the beginning.
That's right. So Ron, the floor
Oh
is yours.
boy. Well, I'll tell you, as a teacher, my famous line that I heard over and over and over in my 30-some years as a music teacher was, a mistake is an opportunity to learn. And so
Mhm.
that's the best way to think of having a mistake or making mistakes is we all have in life. And
Right.
that is it's an opportunity. Take it upon yourself to learn from it. That's not my question. That's just my advice to everybody out there. That's the way you look at music. You look at anything like that. However, as they know, I'm going to ask this question. First of all, I don't know what your background is other than you said you went to church, like many artists we have on here had their parents. I'm sort of backing them, but not really. Wish they had picked a different profession to be in. However, many of us can't speak on everybody's behalf, but went to university for music and learned from that. Did you do anything like that? And if you don't play any instruments, how do you go about writing your songs?
Oh. Well, my parents are never involved in my musical career. They just been watching. African parents are very strict, and I think
I
you can
know.
bear with me, man. They're strict with that. They want they want you to do something else. They feel like music is not something that they look at music like not serious. But when you have that talent, I had to chase it when I actually was going to school. Then I had to chase it during my period in Germany going to school. So I never went to a music school, but being around other artists and then educating myself as well in the process, I learned how to write my songs. I know the different part of a record, and which is just a long time experience that I've been doing. So, and then after I finished school, I kind of invested in myself. I went to like crash course for music and acting back then in Germany. So to really kind of understand the process and from official level, like like a musician.
Hmm. Do you find it easier? Is it getting any easier to write songs?
Sorry.
Is it getting any easier to write songs?
Yeah, for me, it's kind of easy now that I find my I kind of find myself how to create the music if I listen to a beat, and I have my own process that I follow. So um, to expatiate on that, I first of all listen to the instrumental to the beat and vibe to it a little bit. I do a little gibberish to find the cadence, and that's how I go about me writing the songs. Then after I can record that gibberish I do, so I don't forget the cadence or the flow, and then I look for the words.
Yes, I often say in the music industry, it's 5% talent and 95% hard work. That's how I look at the music industry. Anyways, Petra, go ahead.
Oh, I was laughing. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
don't do that. You shouldn't be doing that here. We're much more serious than that. Come on.
Okay, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I love what I'm hearing, Big HOOKZ, and I wanted to ask you, you've done music with a lot of big name artists. I know that you mentioned one of them, Kevin Gates. So
Yes.
I love his music. Can you tell us about your experience working with those artists, and what did you learn? What was your takeaway?
The artists that I really got really close, that we have a really close relationship, and we're still talking, is Egyptian.
Nice.
And yes, I would say because relationship is the key. It's very important. Relationship creates a lot of opportunities.
For
And
sure,
this
for sure.
opportunity you have to create it yourself. So you want to try to maintain that relationship.
Exactly.
With Kevin Gates, I didn't really get a relationship with him, but he knew me because I was talking with his wife. Then unfortunately it was the time that he has to, serve some time back to jail or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it can't, yeah. I was 20, I think 2017 or so. So it kind of messed my marketing of that song because he has to go back. We're supposed to shoot, yeah, we're supposed to shoot the video, and he left Florida jail and they took him straight to Chicago. So
Wow.
we didn't get to shoot the video, and I was signed with Sony Reds at that time. So
Wow.
they kept pushing me like, "What we gonna do?" Because I created that relationship that with them. I was talking with his manager, that's from Virginia area, and he connected me to his wife. So that's how I got a song with him. So I never had like a personal relationship with him, and I would say, but he delivered. He sent me his verse like after 2 days, 3 days when I sent the beat. So um in that process, I actually got that deal with Sony Reds because they liked the song. When
Yeah.
they listened to it, they told me, because my artist was on the first verse, they told me they don't want my artist, I should put my verse on the first verse. I just did the hook line. So
Yeah.
that from that we had a deal for that single. Yeah, I did that, messed up the marketing. But to answer your question, the artists that I really have close relationship was Benjamin, Mike Jones, and Egyptian. Egyptian is the one that I actually went on tour with last year.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, so
Good.
from him, I learned how to really rock the stage. How to speak to your audience. Certain
Nice.
type of breaks you make in between. You want to talk, you can cut the DJ, and
Nice.
and just vibe with your audience without the music. That way you're creating, a different kind of scenario with your audience. People are anxious to listen to you. So
Exactly.
I learned that from him. Also his energy, and yeah, being on stage, and then also just talking to him. When we discuss about music.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really, really great. And you said some key things in that. I feel like relationships are important, and the music industry is based on relationships.
Correct.
And I feel like you vibe your tribe, so it's like whoever you connect with is who you're meant to connect with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you spoke about your experience going on tour with Egyptian and all the things that you learned from him. as an artist. And I really think that's what is missing. I think we had this conversation, Ron and TYB and myself last week, about what is missing in the music industry right now. I feel like these labels want these ready-made artists, but
Yes.
where's the development?
Right. There's no artist development anymore. Like,
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
ruining the industry.
Right.
Did you speak on that, Big Hooks? Go ahead. You can speak on that if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I want to speak on that because that's something I always tell these artists, you know, you have to extremely work hard, like educate yourself, connect to people, and, you know, stay on top of it, because, you know, labels, they will come to you only when you've been in a certain level, because they look at the analytics, they look at the numbers.
Exactly.
And that's you know, that doesn't really make an artist, because if the artist can push a number from a single and it's not developed, then that artist can take you for one single and that's it. You're like a one
have
single
no longevity.
artist. Yeah, exactly. So for me, I always tell artists, try to create something, get connection, learn how to develop fans, learn how to build up audience. You know, those are something that I learned within the period me being an artist and a manager, also by educating myself and learn what type of fans you have, their geographical region, demographic, and all that is very important, because that way you know which region you can go and perform. You can expect this number of people. So yes. So most artists now, some of them don't understand that. You know, I actually like Ron said, I was happy he said that 5% is the talent, 95% is about the business, which consists of the development process, like artists, everything. So unfortunately, you know, we're in the era of internet, so it's a gift and a curse. But you know, label don't put any kind of action or any kind of investment in artist development. You need to be first. You need to have made it first before they can put some money on you, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, most
very
definitely.
true. Very
Yeah,
true.
definitely. No, I totally agree, and I feel like traditionally when I was growing up, I'm an 80s baby. Yeah, I am. I feel like during that time they built stars, you know? They developed stars that would last 10, 20, 30 years, sometimes 40 years. We're still hearing the Patti LaBelle's and the Shaka Khans even now. So they built them at that time for their career to last. Now it's all these ready-made artists. They like, if an artist's career can last even 6 months, wow, you know what I mean? It's that bad now. So, and it's all because these labels, all they care about is money, 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 money. They don't care about the artist. They don't care about the development. They don't care about anything that is about the music. They just want this ready-made, out on the outside looking artist that can do what they need to do to make them money, and that is it. You know what I mean? So, just my final question that I want to ask you, because I want to pass it on over. What has been your experience working with a major label? Because I know you mentioned from that song you did with Kevin Gates. What was your experience like?
Oh man, that's a good one right there. I like
that. I like that response. We're listening.
I don't have nothing against major label, because so far I've been independent. After I terminated my deal with Sony, I just went independent, because I feel like I'm a DIY person. I like to do it myself, and that makes me stand out. You know, because it makes me learn. It's tough. Not everyone can do it by itself. Not everyone want to be independent.
Exactly.
And you have to look certain factors, which age bracket. You have to look certain things. If you're willing to be, you know, willing to listen to people, willing to be patient, because major label, they tell you their timeline for certain things. And before I went there, I was already doing so good, pushing the song. And when I went there, I felt like I kind of they slowed me down. You know, because I was doing things a la carte. I was hiring like a PR, I had a manager who was just walking to me, like my homeboy. Shout out to Panay. He's the one who took me to Sony Reps because they liked the song. So when I went there, they liked the song, but I felt like after 1 month, nothing was really happening. Wish I had the song going on already. Yes. So the good thing I learned from them is the production. How to produce. The production was awesome. So I can't teacher and said, no, major label is good. They learn you how to produce a song. Because even on that song, I was there. I did my verse like, I don't even know, like 20 times. They corrected. And
yeah.
they were so particular on the quality,
Nice,
you know,
nice.
over the quality.
As they should be.
Yeah,
As it should be, yeah. So that factor, I learned a lot during that process because I was dealing with high-end record executive from, you know, with flags. They have different kind of, you know, awards from Sweden, and they telling me advice, which is very great. So I kind of just was soaking in all that knowledge from them. But with the timeline, since they were trying to sign me and I rejected the money. I didn't want to go that route because it's just still like me going to the bank and
exactly
getting a loan, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
so I'm happy I didn't do that, and I terminated it after 3 months when I saw when they hired a PR that was supposed to work on that project. So after 2, 3, 4 weeks. Shout out to Neil Levin. Neil Levin is a guy that was from Sony, from Penalty Record, that took me to Sony. So
Nice.
he was the one working on the staff because my staffing was Penalty Record, but I was with Sony Rays.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is that music right now.
Oh,
So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, so the guy after 4 weeks, Neil was asking him, "Oh, you hired on Big Hook's project? What's going on? What are the list of things that he needs to do?" And he said, I'm still trying to get a feel of the project. I'm still trying to nothing been done, man. 4 weeks. So I feel like then
oh my
I was,
gosh.
you know, as an artist, you investing. I'm working hard, like trying to keep that financial aspect going on.
Yeah.
I have to pay all this myself.
Wow.
So it's not easy.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why I sat back and I thought about it. I had to make a tough decision, and I talked to Penalty Record because with my staffing, I'm like, I don't think I can really move further with the deal because they were setting mistake that they make themselves. Sorry,
Wow.
I'm spilling all this thing out now because it's important for any artist listening because
Exactly.
to release a song, you need like at least 4 to 6 weeks or 8 weeks. That process for them, Sony. So when I kept asking them like, why are we not going there early? They said, no, hold on, we need to get a meeting. So it was a whole dragging, and we went to Sony to sit for a meeting for the release. That's why I found out like, oh, they started asking me, but why you guys coming now? We just 3 weeks before the release date. So I was like, I look at them and they look at me, I'm like, it's exactly what I was saying. So I felt like, you know, it was BS, you know. So after that, I felt like, you know, I should have put this stuff myself, you know.
For sure.
I kind of learned, you know, from that because they were asking me, we need 4 weeks for us to pitch the song. We need 4 weeks to pitch the song on certain playlists.
Wow.
So that way, I felt like, you know, I just had to make the decision myself, you know, and I went back independent. From that, I reinvented myself as an Afrobeat artist, and then also doing hip hop. So they kept calling me back. Yeah, we can find a way to do this and that. I like, you know, I already made my decision. I will see. I don't want anybody to be responsible on my own failure. But let me just go this route. So
all success. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Exactly.
So major label is good. They give you the bag, they give you the money. I didn't take that, but any artist that's of a certain age bracket, I would say go with the major label because it makes you get exposure faster. If you're not willing to do the rough work, you're not willing to do the hard work, like I was doing, like which I think I cannot educate myself more, being independent and not relying on anybody or not wait on anybody. I just do it. But at a certain age of under 25, I would say that age bracket, then you go with major label.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing that, Big HOOKZ. Yeah. So go ahead, Jeremy.
That's a very good. You are sort of treating us with respect to the production aspect of that. That is very rewarding. That's one thing that we do here because you know what, a lot of artists out there do not know that you have to work from A, even A minus A. If you don't take care, you fall down by the wayside. They don't know the intricacies with respect to how they should handle themselves. It's a great, you just said something that resonated with us because we had an artist of yesteryear, PETRAA helped me with T-Boss's dad. And he was here, he was with the Drifters. And we had some great conversation. And you know what you're saying is a lot of, that's right. It makes a lot of sense because you see, I'm not against the big boys. I'm not against them at all. I signed a contract with A&M back in the day. They wanted me to do a different genre. Calypso? No, I'm not a calypso. Calypso.
That's the thing. If you're not willing to impose on, if they're not willing to take that from them because they impose on you, because that's how they want to market you. Yes.
That's
so
right.
If
And
you're
I
not willing
decided
to do it, then don't go that route.
And I decided, no, I wasn't going to do it. It wasn't about the money because it was about my comfortability. Because I write music.
Rightly so.
Yes, because there are people who do it better than myself.
Correct.
Right? And they are from that region. So how can I, from the outside, go and perform better than them? That is why I always want to stay within the area where I'm very comfortable.
Correct.
And the big boys don't teach you that. It's all about the green box and stuff like that. And if you see, even in that particular era situations, new artists will have to be very careful because once you don't know what you're doing, you may be signing your life away, your name away, everything away. Because we've seen so many artists, big time artists who were benched because new artists were found. So if you are an indie, I think you stand a better chance of, marketing yourself, doing everything by yourself. Because just like you said, the cell phone is a recording studio. It's a video. Everything is right in here. So basically, if you have a very good producer, just like yourself, you've been through the trenches and back and forth, then it will be within your power to say that, you know what, I'm signing you, but this is what you have to do on and off the stage, which the big boys don't tell you. They don't do it.
They don't tell you.
That's right.
Even from the contract, man, you need to get a lawyer, dog. They don't tell you to get a lawyer. Nobody's going to tell you that, for real.
That's right.
Sorry, Ron. Let me interrupt you on that. And I have a book, and that's why I came up with a book. It's called From the Music to the Money. I don't know if you guys read on my resume, just to share my journey and my experience.
Yes.
And I kind of explain certain aspects when it comes to contract. Because a lot of artists just sign contract, they don't understand the type of contract they're signing,
So how did you get behind? Like originally you were you are an artist. How did you decide? You know what? I've got to go behind. The call of duty to become a producer. And once I start to produce, I'll be able to do A, B, C, D, E, and then to be able to put everything under one basket. So I know which way I'm going. How did you decide that? Which one came first?
Oh man, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm actually an executive producer. I'm not like a producer. A producer, like a producer that makes the beat. I sit in that process, like I'm doing executive producing them, like when we record songs. So, I just feel like it's a gift because I have a good ear when I'm in the studio. I kind of understand how a song, and it got to do with experience again. Being in the industry for a while. And then as an artist and a manager as well. So I find that what can really make a song stand out, what can really make an artist stand out. Me, I always put myself as an example. So that's how it came about, I could executive. I know little touches I can touch of a song that makes it sound different. Just listening to a lot of music. Different genre of music. I'm not just listening just to Afrobeat. I listen to all type of music just to, feed myself, soak in those knowledge, listen, read. So I educate myself a lot. So that's how I decided to just be executive and artist and also as an entrepreneur.
You know what? I don't doubt it. I don't doubt you at all. Because Cameroon has produced one of the best musicians, Manu Dibango,
Right.
You, yes, Thomas, Sam Frank Thomas. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of great musicians that have come out of Cameroon, and so I'm not so perturbed with what you're telling me, because you've been through the trenches. You have the background. You know,
Right.
folks, we are in conversation with the big hook. You know what? We're having a chat, a conversation. If you're a new artist out there, I think you'll be benefiting from what we are discussing this afternoon. He being an artist and an executive producer of indie powerhouse Straight Team
Straight Team Entertainment. Yeah.
Entertainment. And you know, he's not newbie in the music industry. You may not have heard his name. If you are hearing his name for the first time, go check him out. He's bigger than big. Big hooks. On Now the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio on this beautiful Saturday, the Saturday before the long weekend and next week. Run.
Hey, I have a question. I was listening to a bunch of your songs today, and the first question that comes to mind is that something Petra and I've talked about is marketing. And my question to you is that who are you trying to market or get to? Are you trying to get to? The reason I asked this is because some of your songs, I didn't understand the language in it. Some of the songs had swear words in it. So I'm asking, you know, who are you trying to get or appeal to when you do this? I mean, do you want the 8-year-old children into this? Do you want the 50-year-old white, blacks? Who are you interested in? I know as soon as my wife starts hearing swearing on the radio, the first thing she asks me to do is to turn it off. So, so who are you trying to get your music across to?
I kind of each song that I'm bringing out or producing or trying to bring out, I kind of envision the kind of audience that I'm trying to cater. I'm trying
Which
to
is
cater
who?
for the song. So
Yeah.
it depends on the song. Like for the song, there no competition. It's just me versus me. That's what it means. Like me fighting a competition with myself and striving harder to reach my goal. So I don't have no competition because I just dominate and just move further. So I'm looking for a certain demographic of people that can relate to it, that strive bigger like me, and to setting goals and setting expectation from the self. So I would say, you know, age group wise from 24 to like 37. That's certain demographic of age where, you know, these are people that are looking for that they're going in a certain age, want to step up their life, upgrade themselves. So that's how I do it.
Does it matter to you? Because I ask this question quite a bit, and that is that you often sing in different languages when you're singing. Because I know that many of us here in North America, as you well know if you live here, don't understand some of the languages that are being sung in some of these songs. And time again, I mean, I'll say my wife just says, turn that off. I don't understand what they're singing. Do you find that? Do you take this into consideration when you're writing?
Of course, I take it as a critic. That's always, you know, it's always important to take that as critic, which just make you better, and you know, and develop new things. Like now, I already know that okay, when I'm creating a new music, I have to try to cater to everybody that can listen to it and understand. But Afrobeat is something that you're just going with the vibe. It's mostly the vibe, the beat, the cadence. People just dance to it. A lot of time, people don't listen to the lyrics, what they're saying. But if you pay attention to certain songs that I do, I kind of mix English. I'm mixing broken English. I'm mixing French from my background because I could speak all these languages. So again, it works. It kind of, I feel like it works for me because I'm trying to make a vast, like a very diverse audience to the music, which I'm capturing some Africans, I'm capturing European. I could put German in my music, which I could get some German fans. I have a big fan base in Germany because I grew up there. So I have some songs that I sang in German and I mix with English. So when I do that, I'm tapping a different demographic. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think because
which can limit me from what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to it, you hear this word. Oh, I understand that. I don't understand this word. I don't want to listen to that. So, but again, it's a very good criticism that you're giving to me now. I pay attention that okay, it's good. You can just work on one complete song, let it clean language English, or you just let it clean Afro. Like
Yeah,
I say this because there was a huge group that did well. Yeah.
Yeah. What you guys are discussing right now, I was listening to a track by I've forgotten his name. It's a Tanzanian artist, and he wrote a very beautiful song on radio pluggers, and I got it from there. And he had written something, a track for children or about children, stuff like that. And what struck me from the conversation that we are having right now is that he sang one completely in Swahili and sang one completely in English.
Sure.
So he knew exactly where his target audience were. So at least what you discussing, it makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah, I like that he asked that question because that's what most Afrobeat artists, most of them do that same thing because it's a mixture. And I'll say, for example, like that. Let me say Davido. You know, he has a song that falling. They're playing on the radio in America when I come every day, but they don't. Nobody understand what he's saying. They could hear certain things. And banana, yes, some certain things in the song, but they just go with the vibe because it's a wave. And again, it's about marketing. Then it create that curiosity, like what is he actually saying? And what I want to know. Just like you asked me, Ron, like what is he saying?
Well, the thing I say that is, if you think about the huge, this is my last comment here, but is if you think about the huge group ABBA, which was from Sweden. Sweden only has about 11, 12 million people or so, but they decided to sing all in English because they decided that let's try and reach 2 or 3 billion people as opposed to just the 11 million people in our country, which would be we'd only sing Swedish songs. So they didn't. They sung all English because they went, I think the world market is bigger on the English side of things.
Correct.
So that's where they became millionaires and billionaires. Because they were using some common sense in terms of, money's your end result of things. That's something to think about. I'm not giving you advice. I'm just saying what I often have to tell singers is that think about what market you're trying to get to. No advice to you. Just
no, it's fine. I like it.
Yeah. Anyways, Petra.
I take it.
You see, Ron's professorial is coming to play here, Yes, Petra, please.
Okay, awesome. But that's very interesting what you're saying about marketing, because as Ron mentioned, I actually do have a marketing agency, so it's very interesting for me, especially in the music industry, to really analyze and see how an artist is marketed and how it impacts his career, and just kind of touching on what TIB mentioned, like he had the opportunity to work with a major label, but they wanted him to market himself differently than who he is. You know what I mean?
Right,
so I think it's important, So I wanted to ask you, did you experience that in any way with the major label? But did you notice them trying to dictate or change the way like you were doing things musically? In relation
absolutely. I was very flexible with that because I was looking from a standpoint of what they're trying to do with the song and what type of relationship they're trying to build with the song. Because major label, they have the huge relationship. They have the they can plug you in anyhow. They got that relationship. So I was flexible with that, and I was doing what they asked me to do. For example, certain words I would say, in a song. Like if I say yeah, they want me to sing a certain way, So I was being flexible with that. Because this guy, I think he's from Sweden. He's a very big artist. Like he got so much black. So I was just trying to get that knowledge, learning from him as well. So I was just being flexible, but anything in terms of how I envision the song, that I can't change it. But how I deliver it, I was being flexible with it. And my concept and goal of the song, I was like, I feel like, this is what I want to say, because my verse in that song, I was mixing English and German. So I explained the way I'm headed to with my goals. So they say, oh, okay, they understand. So you're trying to capture a population here of English and German, because that's where I grew up.
For sure. And then what was their take on that? Like, because I know now is very common, you know, where a lot of there are artists that are marketed in both languages, you know.
Right.
But were they very supportive in that, or were they telling you to kind of sing in one or pick one?
No,
Or
they listened to me. They understood me. They was like, yeah, I feel it. Since you my background is a diverse background, so I'm trying to cater to different populations. So they were like, oh, they understand. And then when we started the meeting where the song was released, you had some German people in there. I didn't even know. So they asked me. I spoke in German. I presented myself in German.
okay, awesome.
From that, I even created some relationship from that after I left them. Yeah.
Okay,
Who was
awesome.
she?
Huh?
Who was she? Oh no, sorry. Sorry.
All right. It's
No,
like TYB just second there.
Business relationship. It was a business relationship, not private.
Oh, one of those. Okay.
God. It's so funny.
Oh, boy.
Okay, awesome. So I wanted to ask you as well, what would you equate to being the inspiration for your music? Like, what inspires it?
Good question. Experience and
Mm,
what I've been through, and yeah, it's just day-to-day experience. And sometimes, since I'm a good storyteller, I can envision. I'm a good writer. I can
mhm.
envision certain things like creating, writing books or novels. You can create like a whole scenario, but more of that, I'll say 70-80% is more about my experience, what I've
Okay.
experienced so far. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yep, TYB.
Folks, we are in conversation with the great, the amazing Big HOOKZ. Yeah, we are learning a lot. I'm learning a lot here, and we're having fun having this conversation because it's very educational for you out there. Those of you who are entering into the music industry, it's a jungle out there. It's not easy. Well, what is the most exciting project you're working currently on?
Yeah. You mean up now or what I've worked before?
Before and now.
Yeah, this one is really excited because it's one of the second Afrobeat album I'm trying to bring out, and I've been dropping a lot of singles, and the reception has been great. So I feel like this one is excited because I kind of reinvented myself. I found myself how to create songs faster and write songs faster to get to run question, and I feel like it's exciting. And then yeah, the album is gonna come out probably by June, July. I have to confirm the date, determine the date on that. So, but my previous project was good too, which is called Visionary. Visionary was for me just envision things like no days off. It was visionary, no days off. Me working harder, strive bigger, set up big goals, upgrading myself. Yeah. So the last project was very, very. I was excited to bring out a project, Visionary. It was a mixture of hip hop and Afrobeat.
Awesome. Ron always there's a certain question that he hasn't asked, but I think I was going to ask, but I'll just leave it with you, Ron. Is songwriting ability, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Ron.
You mean in terms of how you take on a project? In terms of
how he writes music.
Yeah, I often ask this too. It's like I know some artists will carry around their phone. I know Charlie Puth said this. He carries around his phone everywhere he goes, and he starts singing lyrics into his phone. Some of us who are not great singers will sit, like I'm sitting beside, I have 3 keyboards right here. We'll start with keyboards first. I also have guitars here and a bass and stuff, basses and stuff. So I often start that way with the instrumental part of it, and then I pass them on to a friend of mine who's a singer, and then he goes right from there, and he's really good at writing the hooks as well. And so my question is, how would you start? Because I know some people, what I get tired of hearing, and I'll say this, I've said this time and time to get artists, is I'm getting tired of hearing of computer technicians who are writing songs where I'm kind of going, the feel in this isn't there. I'm not hearing real instruments. I'm hearing all digital samples, which are fine to use. Everybody probably uses them today. But how do you go about your process for writing when it comes to getting a song started? And how do you do this? Because I know that, to me, one of the most important parts of a song that I love is real instruments. Of course, real singers, of course, that's always happens. But I love hearing guitar that I know you can tell that it's a real player playing it, as an example. So how do you go about doing this?
Good question. Yeah, I'm flexible with that because there's one song called "Ride with Me." I did that in the studio, sitting there with the producer. Shout out to Remo. He produced for Chris Brown and French Montana. He was working on the beat, working on the instrument. While I was just like, just listen. I said, just keep playing. He was playing the keyboard, and I was listening to it, and just vibing with it. And vibing with it. Then he was also, because he's on the song, he was singing the hook line. So we're just doing, like I said, I do the gibberish. I do that on the keyboard for me to find a setting, cadence how I want to deliver on the song. So that's one thing. Sometimes I like to be in the studio setting where they're creating from the scratch, like playing the keyboard and all that, and then me just writing to it. And afterward, I will get like dope co-writers. I'm always open to co-writers. If I create this, man, listen to it. What can I change? What can I change on the hook line? What would be catchy? So that's how I go about it. I listen to the instrument and just start vibing to it. Mostly keyboard. And sometimes if I get the beat sent to me from the producer, I do the same thing. I just listen to the instrumental, to the beat many times. And I'm just start hearing some things how I want to go to the songs. I want to create the song.
Can you clarify? I've heard this time and time again, and I'd like to ask people this, but what does beat mean? I'm kind of thinking, I've got this, I get the beat from somebody. Does that mean like just the drum track, or does it mean the song?
Sorry,
why are we getting away from the word song and saying beat instead? I'm confused by that term.
Beat is the instrumental, yeah. The general, when the song is created, generally.
You mean the song?
The song, yeah. When it's
okay.
The whole component is called beats.
Okay, well, see, the thing is, because when I play with the drummer every week, and when he puts a beat down, then we play. That to me is the beat.
Okay,
but I get confused by this term because I often tell people I'm not a beat maker, I'm a songwriter.
Okay.
What's the difference, or is there a difference?
I think it's just a different way of saying it. If I say instrumental, that's still, we call it a beat, but which
that's different.
It's different.
Yeah, instrumental is different. Instrumental means a song with no lyrics or words at all.
Right, but that's how they call it beat. So they'll just say, "Send me the beat" of a producer.
Yeah. Like, send me the song.
The song for me, I feel the song is when you have the lyrics in there. You have the vocals.
Not necessarily. There's great songs.
That's the old way of saying stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
This is a new way of saying stuff, the beat.
Charlie Parker.
If I say send me the song, I know you have the vocals on it already laid. You have the vocals recorded. Yeah.
I get confused by this term, I guess.
Yeah.
Because a song to me can mean so many different things.
Right. For me, a song is a fully produced records.
Yeah.
I will not say send me a song when I know you already laid the vocals on it, which is a record. Yeah.
My son is a songwriter too. He tells me the beat is just the instrument, without lyrics and stuff like that. So
tell it to Charlie Parker. He wrote lots of songs that had no singing in them. Does that mean he just wrote beats? You know what I mean?
That's right. I mean, folks, we are having this technical stuff, but I'm learning a lot from this conversation. And Big HOOKZ, like you cut both ways. You are an artist, and you are an executive producer. So we are having this great conversation that we almost always have, and it's without exception, one producer, executive producer, or publisher on the program. But today, you've graced us with both sides.
Right.
PETRAA, if you have something, I have a very big question for.
Yeah, go ahead, TYB.
Big HOOKZ, What's your take on AI in the music industry?
Oh man,
Mhm. Good
that's
question.
that's a good one right there. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in the unfortunately we live in the era of technology, man. Like, but for me, I'm not too like I'm an organic artist. I don't like that AI thing. But you know, it's just a technology thing right now we're dealing with. But my take on it is because you could create people like voices without them being in the studio with the AI. So I feel like that's not for me, man. I want to be authentic. I don't. That's not for me, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's going to have an impact one way or the other on the industry because we discuss this almost every other week here that, you know what, AI will never equal what a human being can do.
Nah.
It's just like the talking drums. It's been sampled over and over and over again, but it will never equate what, say, if you have a Nigerian talking drum player there, AI can never do that. They've tried it
Nah.
several times. They can't do it. So this is where I am. There are certain areas where AI can impact on the industry, and there are certain areas that it cannot even dare go there. But the whole thing is that, do you think the future of AI with respect to industry is it going to change drastically, like a lot of people have been saying? We've been discussing this a lot, and you know what, we don't know
Um.
where it's going to take us to.
My take on that, I think, because a lot of people feed into that, and right now with the technology, even you see the labels are suffering, with all that technology development, and so I think it's gonna have a lot of impact with the music industry. It's already having a lot of impact in terms of music sales, labels. A lot of people, independent labels, are even the ones profiting right now from what I
Oh,
know, because yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I feel like more technology is just gonna impact the music industry from the originality, from the authenticity of music, and yeah, for me, and I'm not into the AI stuff because I like my stuff be original.
And you have a partner here as well. Petra, the last question before we wrap up and then we go.
Okay, awesome. See, I'm so honored. You see, Big Hooks to get the first and the last question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, sirs. So, so my last question would be, just from speaking with you and having an interview with you, it's just so amazing just to hear all the accomplishments, experiences that you've acquired in your time in the music industry, not just as a musician, but as a producer,
Mhm.
manager, all that amazing stuff. So
Yeah.
that being said, what advice do you have to any up and coming artists or any young people out there listening to you, wanting to follow in the footsteps of Big Hooks?
Oh man, that's a great question. I can speak on that all day.
Nice.
I will advise any upcoming artists and aspiring artists. Yeah, you have to treat it like as a business. Just
Mm-hmm.
as Ron was saying, you have to treat it as a business. 5% talent, 95%, consists of the whole marketing, promotion,
Exactly.
artist development, you education yourself. 95% is fully business, which marketing is a essential part of it because you need to get notarized. You need the notoriety. You need the exposure. And, you need to, find a way to get that, invest in yourself in that. So any aspiring artist that is coming up, I would say, but don't give up. At the end of the day, you need to love what you're doing. You need to, if you're passionate, you gotta love what you're doing.
Yeah.
So there's many times you're gonna feel like you want to give up, but that passion, it needs to get you going. And for me, I don't just, since I'm a very versatile person, music costs money. Music is expensive. It's very expensive. So
Exactly.
I'm trying to find another hustle. I'll do something else, and that's why I went to school or do something else so I can look for means of getting an income. I invested in myself.
Mhm. Exactly.
If you're a younger person, because a lot of artists they think like, oh, when they start doing music, oh, just gonna get this deal, I'm just gonna get signed. Oh man,
I was
it
one of
doesn't
them.
work like that. You know, it doesn't work like I've dealt with a lot of artists. You know, they'll get that last $100. They prefer to go buy something to smoke without investing in the record studio. Man, put that money in yourself. Invest in yourself. You know, so that way you're even happy if you go. I feel comfortable when I put stuff or invest in myself, you know, not
Exactly.
relying on anybody. But you get artists they're like, okay, miss, you're not serious. If you want to, are you serious about the music? Then you need to work harder. They're like, no, we know, man, I'm about to get this deal. No, it doesn't work like that. You're not gonna get a deal if you don't invest in yourself to create that shareholder value for yourself. You need to you know have that value. You need to have a leverage. It's called leverage. When people see what you're doing, when people see certain numbers, even you still have that leverage, you still need to invest and create opportunity for yourself. Because when you create opportunity, it bring more opportunities, and that's how you grow bigger. So again, a lot of people just look the music. They think, people don't take it serious, but it's a business. And the business
Exactly.
you need to handle as a business, as a regular business. If you're on real estate, that's how music is a business, you know. So if you think that you just create music and you're gonna just blow, no. You need to send it to the radio station. How it's gonna go to the radio station is it marketing.
Exactly.
So that's all I gotta say. But again, you have to believe in yourself, you know.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself. And for me, I always keep God. I believe in God, so I always keep praying to get different opportunities. Then I push myself, set my goals higher, and I work hard to invest in myself. I won't be talking to you guys if I haven't like invested in myself or work hard and reach a certain level where I meet people that introduce me to you. That's how it works. So the network is
Most definitely. That's what it
Sorry,
is.
I said a lot, but
That's all right.
You
You're
need to
learning. No,
said.
it's okay. It's all
I
right.
just wanted to say that young people need to hear what you're saying, and it kind of makes it this comment that you said and everything you're talking about full circle. That is artist development is missing. So how can we expect these young people that know nothing about the music industry to know everything? Like they need people like us who are experienced mentor to give them that expertise. But if the record labels are taking that out of the whole package and not developing the artist, then they have no idea. But then think about on a bigger scale, they don't want the artists to have any sense and have artist development so they can take advantage of them, lock them in these 360 deals and take advantage of them till the cows come home.
I would say a record level deal for me and from my experience, I know it's not meant for artists to get rich. It's not meant for artists to, you know.
Thank you. They need to hear that. It's not for them to get rich.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
It's not for
It's
artist
the
profit.
labels to
So
get
you have
rich.
to be smarter. You have to, you know, have a plan B. You have to you have to beat them. You have to, you know, the wish comes again with experience. But they prefer signing people that don't understand. So
Exactly.
but
And
again, things are changing because the internet is powerful, and artists are making more money now. If they know the game, if they know the business, they're making more from music.
That's why it's called a contract.
Contracts, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're in this to make money, you're in it for the wrong reason. You better do it because you love it. That's the reason. Love it first.
The money follow you. Exactly, Ron. The money, if you're just like, oh man, I want to make money tomorrow, nah. You have to chase your passion, chase your dream. From that, money is going to follow you. You can't chase the money, you know.
Yeah.
And through that process, you're going to fail so many times. So if you give up, you know, means if you quit, it means you fail, you know. So you can't give up because for me, failure is just, you know, you have to change plans, make plans, planning, taking action, execute. You set
Then
the
you
goal.
didn't love it. Yeah. You
Yeah,
didn't love it enough.
you didn't love it enough, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. You know what, Big Hooks? You've graced this occasion here today. We've had you as an artist and as an executive producer and as a an entrepreneur. We should have divided you into three for you to come one day.
I'm gonna try to come. I'm gonna come in person next time.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
So,
gonna come
you
in
know,
person, so we
and
can really chat. Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
And before we go, how can people reach you with respect to social?
You can reach me on all social media platforms, which is BIGHOOKZ Big Hooks on Instagram, Facebook, all social media platforms. Or just Google my name, you find me everywhere. BIGHOOKZ Big Hooks.
Yes, the big man himself, folks. You heard it from him. Check him out on Spotify or so many different media platforms. So you know what? We thank him for gracing this program with his presence, with his experience, what he shared with us, with you who are listening to us. If you are listening to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, what have you, you see the button there, subscribe, share, like it, and we'll come back again in 7 days. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and remember, this world that we live in, we've got to love and respect. Shalom, good night, good morning, good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye, lovely family.
All right, thank you.
Take